Hello, sir. My name is Romello Potts. This is my COS final lab. Um, so the first question is how to explain what a virtual machine is. It is pretty much a file that you download into your computer to be able to run other OSs in a virtual sandbox, pretty much on your OS. So you can run a Windows 10 VM. You can run Windows Server 2016, 17, whichever ones they make beyond 16, 19, CentOS, Ubuntu, those different types of things on your current computer. Um, to demonstrate how to how to create a virtual machine, you would, one second. So you click on your virtual machine library, hit new, it can continue. You choose one of your virtual machines that you want to download. You hit continue. You could hit any one of the ones that are downloaded here. I'm gonna hit CentOS 64-bit. So you might want to download your stuff like something off of the internet to be able to run your virtual machines. But you can click that and click the customize machine, anything like that, to change the name and everything. So you hit the finish, save, and then that will save your. So the next question is explain architecture, kernels, and processes. So an architecture is pretty much the physical layout of I'm sorry, the architecture. So the kernels are an essential part of your operating system. So it runs automatically. It doesn't need to be touched on or anything like that. It runs your computer in the background. So small things that need to be done, it does pretty much. So you don't have to do it. Your architecture is your physical and logical layout. So your processes, otherwise known as system calls, are like the requests that are made to your computer. So to describe the computer hardware components, so a logic board is it's pretty much what a motherboard was. So it is the main piece of your computer, and it runs and it makes everything else function correctly on your computer. It connects everything to each other. So a central processing unit is like your brain. So it 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 speeds up with the more processing that you have. So like it processes faster with the more things that you have on it. Um, which was your CPU. Your memory is pretty much what it says is your memory. It's pretty much your random access memory, otherwise known as RAM. So it stores information or it will transfer information or delete the information because it can it can alter your computer because the type of information is stored, the type of memory is stored to transfer it out. So your hard drive is pretty much using computer to store any type of data that you need. This is the type of data that can be deleted without destroying your computer. So what I'm going to do is demonstrate how to change your memory, hard drive, and cores. So what I do, I click on that, I click on this, click on the processor. I can't change it right now because I have it open and running. But you have advanced options. I can't, like it says, states at the bottom. I can't until the virtual machine is shut down. But this is where you process your memory. So the next thing to explain are viruses and malware. They're pretty much the same way how us as humans interact with viruses. Um, they're two things that embed themselves inside your computer and try to grow inside of your computer. And they try to grow as big as they can to try to infect other computers, other networks, and all that type of stuff. They're very malicious content. So they're pretty much trying to damage everything that they can. So they have different types like Trojans and all that stuff. So the best way to combat these are to always have your firewalls. Always, as my professor would say, to always update your computer, shut it down, and run it back up to where it can update, and always be on its toes. So the next one is demonstrate how to configure users, groups, permissions, server. Opening up. So I click on computer management. Um, I get to the let me use the users and groups. So you're gonna right click that. You'll type in whatever name you want to choose, any type of password you want to choose, and it'll populate to the server. So it's no different with the groups. It's the same thing. With the groups, you can add the different users to the group. So see how we have all these different groups that we could add users to. Um, you could same thing, group the description, and you add members. You click here to add members to it. So with these, you could be able to change your permissions and all that good stuff with your users. So you can have different things, as in access to a certain file. You can only read it, or you can read and write, or you that type of stuff. Um, so the difference between a standard and an admin account is usually, well, pretty much every time, a standard account is created by admin. So an admin will create a standard account. A standard account cannot create an admin. An admin has more permissions than a standard account. It can go in and alter files, groups, users, different interfaces that are inside of the computer. An admin account can go in and alter. A standard account can't. So you got to look at the admin account being the company, and then the standard account being the employee. So a company can't, an employee can't do more than a company can. Only the company can do certain things that the employee can't do. And that's the difference between. So the type of kernel that Linux uses, it is a monolithic kernel. It's an operating system and architecture where all operating functions work in their own current space. It has a bunch of device drivers. So demonstrate how to navigate file structure using a GUI in either. So close that. I'm gonna use Windows 10 for the GUI for this one. So a GUI is the graphic user's interface. Let me log in here. And like I like to call the GUI, I call the GUI Cortana, and that's what I've always called it. But well, for Windows, anyways. For Mac, it's Siri. So what the GUI does is pretty much it's a more simplified version to do everything on the computer compared to using a command line. Um, so the different thing, all the same things that you can do on GUI, you can do on the command line. So GUI, use this, the start button, or you can use the search. You can type in anything you need to type in. If you want to type in to use the command prompt, you can type in to use File Explorer. You can right click on some things and run as an administrator. And here goes the file structure. I have how everything is set up in the GUI. You have your OneDrives, you have your PCs, you have your network, you have documents, desktop, downloads, pictures. Um, Demonstrate how to make access system settings and make changes in either Linux OS. So exit out of this and just type in settings. And here goes your Windows settings. Your network and everything. Here goes your system settings. So you can change your display, your sound. You can change your notifications, your power, your sleep, your battery. For multitasking, projecting to this PC, clipboard, remote desktop. You can learn about the PC, find out if other things are protected, and the processor and device name and device ID. So 5 different commands in the command line. So one command you can talk about is sudo. Oh no, can't use sudo on. I have to go to CentOS. So, oh crap, I don't even have my CentOS on here. So, I could do server. So you can go to the command prompt again. You can run as administrator. You can that type of stuff. So different commands you can use. So if you don't know, you can just do IP config. So you can find out the different IP addresses and everything. Oh, I have to use COS. Okay. EA brain fart. I didn't read the rest of the question. Sorry. To re-download this one because I deleted it earlier. I'm sorry. I have to go through this whole download again. I'm sorry. I wait for it to re-download. Sorry, this car is driving past outside and they're blasting their music. So I'll just set this up. Installation. So, actually showing you how to go through and for everything else on OS to be downloaded. If it will hurry up. So while I'm waiting for this, I would need which question was that? Commands. So sudo will be a command used for me to be able to log into the root user. The second command will be yum. It will allow me to download the packages on the repository. So it's still downloading. I'm sorry it's taking so long. It's just, whew, we're gonna wait for it to set up. I had it downloaded, but I deleted it earlier. I think it was frustrating me, and I couldn't remember everything I had set up. So while I wait for this, so I went over Yums. I haven't physically been able to go into it yet, but because I'm still waiting for this. But so it's another um, command we can use called Onico, and it's a crazy thing. It has a cat chasing a mouse, so it's like it's chasing the packet. I'm still waiting for this. We have another one called LS. Uh, it can list the directory and all the contents that are inside the directory. And it just shows the ones that you're using currently. So CentOS has a text editor called Nano. You can use that command to use the text editor on CentOS. And I got four. One more would be PDW. Um, it'll be just like the pathway that you used, and it'll show currently where you are. I'm still waiting for this to download, as you can see, sir. Um, I'm just gonna explain the next one. The next one, explain what su command does in Linux. It pretty much it connects one user to another user, so it gives that user access to another user. So it'll allow me to log in to another user account. So SE Linux is it's pretty much it's much Linux, but it's really enhanced with security. That's pretty much what security Linux is. Pretty much all the Linux computers have SE Linux because everybody needs the security through Linux. So to be able to do some things, SE Linux has to be disabled. So to be able to create a new user in groups, I'm going to go back to the other steps, but I just want to keep it rolling. To create a new user in group, you have to use the command sudo to be able to get to the root, pretty much to be able to you want to use add user and then space and then put whatever name. Just put user one. Oh, I have to put sudo and user. see the it gives me this pop up. Have to do the sudo password. Boom. That's just not the sudo res file. Incident will be reported. Yes. Okay, for some reason I can't see my mouse. Should see if I can now. Okay. Okay. So for group, we'll do the same sudo. We're gonna do group add. We're gonna do geeks. And I forgot how to use the GUI at COS for some strange reason.